Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning and welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Bill Allen sitting in for Winston Chester this morning, who I believe is fishing. And let's get started with our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center. We are unfortunately looking at a 70% chance of rain today. It's getting to be a regular habit around here. Wind out of the south-southwest at 13 miles an hour. And we're looking at a high of 82, so a little bit cooler, and a low tonight of 73. Look over at our river readings, however. The Choctawhatchee River at Bluntstown is 8.4 feet. And fairly steady with a little bit of fall to it. And then you have the Apalachicola, which is at 7 feet. And the reports that I am getting from just everybody that's gone down anywhere in the Brothers River, out of Howard's Creek, and even up at Deer Point, but the freshwater fishing is on fire right now. This water has been so high. And these fish have been up in the woods eating really well, and now they're all being forced out in the water, and it's just fantastic. Whether you're fly fishing or you're cork fishing or you're bass fishing, it's been really, really good. So you get the opportunity in some decent weather, it's a good time to pull out that kind of equipment. Now, let's take a look at our Kent Forest Lawn tides. Panama City today, high at 8:53 a.m. with the low at 7:25 p.m. Over at St. Joe, very similar, of course, high at 8:44 and a low at 6:51. You know, great times, just not great weather. We're going to go ahead and take our first break and come back with a special guest. Welcome back. Glad you stayed with us. I'm here with our very special guest this morning, my really, really good friend and fishing partner occasionally, more than occasionally, Mark Cowart. Mark, how's it going?
It's good. It's good to be here this morning, Bill. It's a beautiful morning outside right now.
Well, so far, it's going to get a little nasty, I think. This, you know,
hey man,
water conditions.
We got to learn to fish in the rain and the dirty water.
Well, over this past year, that's true. It's kind of weeded out the you know, the men from the boys, I guess, if you will, on fishing this kind of stuff. But water clarity right now is pretty good, right?
It is. It's really changed. Over the past 10 days, it's cleared.
Yeah.
And you can see maybe 1.5 to 2 feet now, where 3 weeks ago you couldn't see inch and a half to 2 inches.
We got some new technology and rods and guides and stuff that Mark's brought with him, and it's really fascinating to see some of this stuff. So I promise you the rest of us now is going to be fishing, but I had to take that time. So let us take this quick break, and we'll come right back with some brand new stuff. All right, welcome back. Joined, of course, by Mark Cowart here, and we were just talking about Mark's been on the water a lot more than I have here lately, and been in a couple of tournaments there, and you're coming off of 2 top 4 finishes in tournaments with your son, Michael, who's obviously the key to the whole team. But there's some new stuff. I mean, you call me about this. I mean, we talk every day, but you were really excited about these rods and the new guide situation.
Absolutely. Michael and I, for those who don't know, tournament redfish, and we are fortunate enough that we are starting to gain some notoriety, that we're getting people to contact us. We were contacted by a company called Baytek Rods out of San Antonio, Texas. He asked what we were using. One thing led to another, and Michael and I joined their pro staff. The remarkable thing about this technology is the first thing that jumped out at me was the weight of the rods. This is a 7.5 foot medium heavy rod that weighs 3.7 ounces.
Yeah, that's amazing.
The next thing about this particular rod, this Baytek rod, is called a 4141, is this first guide. Now I don't know if you can see it, but it's called,
good picture.
It's microwave technology. What happens is that when the line jumps off a spinning reel, it jumps out in loops. This gathers the loop and then all the speed of the line coming out of the rod guides is then focused in a straight line. The remaining rod guides are small guides.
Yeah, I'm noticing down there how small those things are. But you're telling me now this amazing distance with this rod.
Absolutely. Into the wind, it doesn't matter. It's really kind of crazy. Until you see the video, you can go on Baytek Performance Rods website, and this is called microwave rod guide technology. And what it does is it gathers the line and focuses down the rod, down the rest of the rod.
Instead of big loop spinning
because
off, it
if
gets
you look
smaller.
if you look at video, when it hits the first one in a typical rod guide, this guide is much smaller than the normal rod guide in any rod. What it does is that it gathers it and sends it down the rod blank. If in the other rods, the way they're made, that loop continues through the first one, the loop continues through the second one, and the loop gets all the way to the third guide until it starts straightening out. And that is slowing your lure, your bait down in the air. The other thing that this does, it is designed to prevent wind knots, which is a huge thing.
Well, that was going to be my question. I mean, we both fish braid, and I think probably most people do now. And so that it helps there. I mean, it doesn't make it worse.
Saturday, Michael and I fished in the Emerald Coast Redfish Series tournament out of East Bay. Very calm conditions in the beginning of the day, 15 to 20 mile an hour winds in the second half of the day.
Just a normal
Just
day.
a normal day. I could throw this into the wind without pause. Now, let me say that rarely can you consistently cast into the wind because we've got to position the boat based on the tide moving, based on the wind, based on the sun. So the wind is the last thing you get the benefit of. I was absolutely amazed. I was hesitant. We didn't get these until Friday. Michael just insisted we're going to go ahead and put them in the boat. We fished with them. Now, they have 3 other rods that are, well, one's a bait casting setup, but this is the only rod that you can get this microwave line guide technology on.
Now, I've seen these before where the smaller one, though, was inside the bigger loop still.
Absolutely.
And that didn't really catch on.
Right.
Maybe because it just didn't get the job done.
Right. If you really look at
this is offset.
It's offset out, and you think it would be absolutely make you crazy. When I looked at it, I'm so anal-retentive, I'm thinking there's no way this can work. You know, it's absolutely phenomenal. But if you notice that the design of the way the guide support is made, it's designed to help gather that line and send it through. Go on their website, Baytek Performance Rods, and you'll see, you can find a video of this. This is, I think, American Tackle is the actual manufacturer of it. It's a remarkable thing. But beyond that, even if this rod had the traditional guides, this rod at 3.7 ounces and it is durable, lifetime warranty. Lifetime warranty.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. You know, distance is one thing, but if you don't have the backbone in the rod to handle the fish, if you make that long cast, it's not really.
You're right.
I mean, I've seen both sides of it. I've seen rods that'll throw it a mile, but there's so much flex, you don't have the
ability to set a
rod or to set a hook. And you're telling me that this 3.5, 3.7 ounce rod not only is going to sling it out there, but it has the backbone.
Right. Our first fish I caught on this in the tournament was an oversized slot redfish, close to 30 inches, maybe 9 pounds, 8.5, 9 pounds, and I had no trouble. As a matter of fact, you can go on our YouTube channel and see a video of that where that fish, I was able to turn that fish, bring him to the boat relatively quickly, which surprised myself and shocked Michael. He goes, you could just turn him. And I was amazed.
Now mention. Let's go back a second. You don't go over so quick. Your YouTube channel is Team ShallowTails.
Yeah, it's Team ShallowTails, and ShallowTails is one word, and it's ShallowTails. Team ShallowTails, and there's some great video on there.
You video, and then you put some. You talk about rods on there, and you talk about other things. Now you also have your website, which is markcowart.info.
Markcowart.info.
And that's not only your real estate site, but you have links set up on the side for fishing.
Yeah, to get to fishing.
Yeah, which you, again, talk about different things,
Right.
and I know that the different stuff that you use are all on there. It's good information, and he's also with the team ShallowTails on Instagram.
Right.
Which, you know, is just a kind of a way to keep in touch with other people who are fishing and hear things. And I know through that, and he got me set up, and I'm not the tech, you know, obviously I'm not a tech guy, but it's Captain Bill Fishing. But you get on there and, you know, you have people making comments and asking questions, and I know through that, you discovered these rods and also some topwater baits. And
Absolutely.
Some
There's
there.
a company in South Florida called Gill Reapers, and they custom make baits. And he custom made some baits for us. They approached us. Baytek Rods actually started following Michael and I. Mm-hmm. That's where that came from Instagram. They never would have found us.
Well, and that brings me to this little point is there's a lot of fishing information out there. If you take advantage of some of the things, you know, and you can pick up tips, you can explore new products and all those kind of things just by, you know, spending a little bit of time on some of this and just searching around. And of course, you know, this show is on YouTube, Panhandle Outdoors, and it's a great way that you can catch up later on if you're not up this early. All right, we got some more stuff to talk about. We're going to take a quick break and come right back. All right, welcome back. Let's continue now. There's two more rods at least that you've brought in this series.
Right.
Different purpose rods.
In the Baytek Performance Rod system, what they have is they primarily have 3 rod setups. A sniper, saltwater sniper. It's all designed for inshore fishing. That's the only thing they're focusing on. They have a 4141, which has that microwave guide technology we just talked about, and they have this rod called a tail chaser. And the tail chaser is designed for delivering a smaller bait, longer distance. I caught a 26, 27-inch redfish Sunday on this rod. Now, this rod is paired, if you notice, it's paired with a 2500 Stratic CI4, which weighs very little.
Nothing.
This rod weighs about 3 ounces. I had no trouble setting the hook using this Z-Man bait, and I'll go through that in just a second, with a 3/0 weighted worm hook. Set the hook, no problem. Got the fish in, fought it well. Matter of fact, we were looking at it on video because we have the GoPro set up on the boat that when we're fishing is recording all sides of the boat. And this rod absolutely looked like it was bent like a noodle to here. And then, man, it had all the backbone
And the
you
strength
wanted.
was in the bottom. And, you know, it's something that I've said over and over again, I know when I'm on here, but, you know, this company has 3 rods in a series for inshore fishing. You know, Shimano with that Terramar series and the Inshore, I believe it was 3 rods that they produced, you know, with different weights, different backbones, different tips. You will have less trouble with overruns, you know, wind knots, with everything if you will match the bait you're fishing to the rod.
That's exactly
and the
right.
reel.
Boy, that's
and
right.
then you don't have to spend time changing stuff, you know, bringing one
That's
rod,
right.
trying to fish 3 or 4 different things. You're not going to be effective. You're going to cast better, farther, if you will match the bait that you have to the rod that you're using and then to the reel that you're using.
Right. When I first started inshore fishing, and which was all with Bill, the first thing that I realized is that Bill was using all these different weight combinations, rod and reels. Line, rod, and reel weight difference. I was using everything medium to medium heavy. No, there was no medium. It was all medium heavy to heavy, all big reels, all 4000 series. And as I've evolved and learned, I've realized just like this rod, which is a saltwater sniper from Baytek, this is the most amazing thing I've ever held. This rod weighs 3.1 ounces. It delivers this top pup mirror lure a mile. And I caught both keeper fish Saturday in the tournament on this on topwater. Good, solid backbone, great soft tip, hook set, fight, no problem. It's just remarkable.
Now, when we say making a long cast, it's using braid.
It is using braid.
And I said this in the past. It doesn't matter how far. If you can cast monofilament a mile, you can't get a hook set, an effective hook set, a mile out with monofilament.
Yeah, you know, monofilament 30 yards out, I could take this hook right here, put it right here in the palm of my hand, let Bill set the hook on it with monofilament. It might go in, it probably won't. That line is going to stretch.
Now, we haven't tried that, but we're going to. If you'll just write in, we will give this a shot and put it on the
Do it live?
I would love to give this a shot. But seriously, yeah, I mean, there are places for big reels, but I hardly have any of them over 2,500. One reason is if you start fishing some of these tournaments, you know, you're fishing for 9 hours.
Yeah.
You know, you can't hold a telephone pole in your hand for 9 hours.
That was one of the things that really struck me here was that, especially on this weight of the saltwater sniper on top water.
Yeah.
Because I've got bad shoulders, played football my whole life, and I've had 6 shoulder surgeries, and to work this was effortless all day. And again, you know, on the tail chaser, delivering this 1/8 ounce, very lightweight Z-Man Paddler Z, accurately, long distance, even into the wind. I could throw it, and that was a bait I would never try to throw any distance in the wind.
And that's something that you know that I've worked on and tried different combinations. I mean, anybody can throw a top water in the wind. I mean, it's not going to go as far, but you're going to get similar distance, not that big an idea. But when you start trying to make a presentation with a softer bait, I know you use Z-Man a lot and love it, but when you start trying to make a presentation with a softer bait, a lighter, your spoons and things like that, throwing it into the wind, you get killed.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you got to go to longer rod. You've got to do a lot of things to try to get that. And let's face it, we're going to have to live with wind.
Oh, yes.
It's just like you said, a normal day anymore for us is maybe a decent morning if it's not kicked up, and then you get in the afternoon, you're looking at 15-knot winds out there.
That's right.
And you can't always put the boat in a position to throw downwind.
No, you're right. And sometimes, you know, you've got to work the tide, you've got to work the sun. The wind's the last part of the factor of catching these fish.
Oh, well, that's true, and it's a big factor in catching
crazy.
these fish. So, you know, there's a lot of resources out there. Go to Panhandle Outdoors site. You can branch off from there. Go to Mark's site. There's just a lot of ways out there. Take some time, put your equipment together, and you'll have a better experience. Mark, I appreciate you coming in very much. As always, you're going to have to buy me breakfast now. Have a great day. Do something good for somebody, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.